It's true, success is built on a mountain of failure. And if you've ever tried to make something without knowing what you're doing, you've probably made a mountain. But we're always young enough to try new things, fail, and try again until we get it right. So we went searching to find a way you can do just that. Let's go make something today on Hometown. Did you know that research suggests that your satisfaction from mastering a skill is closely related to the effort invested? Engaging in activities you're not perfect at provides a sense of accomplishment as you improve over time. And yet, as we grow older, we often quit seeking new experiences and challenges. But what if we could set aside our embarrassment, recalibrate our expectations, and tackle something that will give us a new lease on life? Today, we will meet some neighbors who know what it means to build success out of a mountain of failure for them and their students. Let's explore that mountain, an essential ingredient in the remarkable story of us.
Chloe Congleton.
Yep.
Trying something new. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's always good to try something new. I have my whole business around trying new things, so I would agree with that for sure.
So tell us the name of your business, Chloe.
So my business name is Enable Art. I actually started my business right out of high school, and I was looking for different names, and at that point I just wanted to be an artist, and I wanted to share my art that I felt like God gifted me with to other people. So I'm like, I'll do Enable Art. So Enable Art I can take my
your passion,
my passion, yes, and share it with other people. And so when I started it, that was the original idea, to take my artwork and share it with other people. Then when I moved over here to Walla Walla, I started teaching art classes, and then I started enabling other people to be creative. So it was really beautiful because I started Enable Art wanting to share my gifts with others, but it ended up me being able to share art with other people and enabling them to be creative. So I love that the name has changed in my mind, but also stayed the same.
Yeah, sure. Well, the definition as you have gone through life and all of that. So when did you first decide that you were interested in art? How old were you?
I think I was 6 years old. I actually got sent to timeout. And my mom sent me up. She had 5 kids. She needed a break. I got sent up to my room, and I looked out the window because I was bored out of my brains, and I was like, I'm going to draw that house next door. And so I looked at that house, and I thought to myself, if I can see like a shingle and it's a line and it's a little box, I should be able to draw it. So I drew a 3D model of my neighbor's house, and after 2 hours my mom came up like, what are you doing? And I pulled out my timeout was over, like, thank you for the break, but like, you can come out now. And I pulled out my Hello Kitty notebook, and I'm like, yeah, look at this. And she's like, yeah, you're going to art class. So that's when in my mind, or maybe I was 8 at that point, but so after that she put me in an art class here and there, but I just knew I loved it, and it really, throughout the years, is something I could retreat to process stuff, and it's just always something I've been really passionate about.
So we are actually sitting here in your art studio, in your classroom, here on College Avenue, Enable Art, and you opened the beginning.
That makes me emotional.
Yes, well, I could pull out tissue, I have some. But this is an opportunity, like you said, to share. But I will say, a lot of artists don't actually teach art.
Yes.
So I think this is a special gift that you have to be able to do that.
Yeah, I love teaching. So when I moved here, I wasn't going to start my business because I lived in Spokane. And so in Spokane, I was actually more of a photographer. and the photographer side of things helped pay for my art. When I moved here, I lost 7 years of clientele, and I was really discouraged, and I went to my class at the CC, and she's like, you gotta go advertise. And I'm like, I can't. I just don't want to do that. I've done it. I moved, I lost my clients, and she's like, don't come back to class until you've talked to 5 businesses about what you are passionate about. And so I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I walked into Walla Walla Valley Academy, and I advertised as a photographer to Brian Harris at the time. And
he was a principal.
He's a principal. And he hired me the next day as an art teacher. He's like, you're an artist, we need an art teacher. And that was an answer to prayer. And he had faith that I could do it. I did not know what I was doing.
Probably did it, but
I didn't have it, but he did. And I'm so thankful for that moment, because I work with incredible people. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I work with incredible people over there. And when I was teaching over there,
See, I told you I had a tissue, and it's even clean.
It's even clean. When I was working over there, I asked them, because I'm a contract teacher, I'm like, I will make you guys another deal. If you let me use my classroom and you let me teach to people in our community so I can make a little extra money, I'll bring them into the school, we can call it recruiting. And they're like, we love that idea.
Yeah.
So for I've been teaching over there for this will be my 9th year. So for 7-8 years, I was teaching over there. I did after school art, and then the parents were like, we want an art class. So
what about us?
What about us? And so I've been teaching evening art classes for 2 years, and it's just grown and grown. And I thought to myself, like, how many art classes can adults come to? A lot. I have people that come every single class.
Really?
I have people that come weekly. I have some people that pop in and pop out. And the clients that I've gotten in this space has been, already I've been open for not even a month. And like last night, we had, I think, 29 people. The night before that, we had 30. Tonight, we have 27. And for my kids' class today, in an hour or so, we have 26.
So here it's come full circle, Chloe, from your mom's timeout to the neighbor's house to here you have this space here on College Avenue next to the post office. So if someone's listening and they think, oh, I'm not quite sure, what do you say to that?
Those are my favorite words.
Are they?
They're my favorite words. Last night I'm like, hey, how many of you guys have never needle felted? Because I do acrylic, watercolor, and needle felting. And I had about 18 people raise their hand that have never felted before. And they all left with beautiful projects.
See?
So my classes are created for people who never got the chance to really figure out if they're creative. And it's also for people who are creative and want to learn a new skill.
Yeah, sure.
And so the scariest thing is saying that you're going to come. Once
Making that commitment.
Yeah, and then once they're here, I show them the snacks and the drinks, and they're like, oh, this is a happy place. And then they calm down, and then we start a craft, and they realize how easy it is. And people tell me all the time, oh, I can barely draw a stick figure. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
If you know how to draw shapes, and if you don't, I can also help with that.
Well, and see, that's where the teacher aspect comes in. So, never too old to learn something new.
Never too old.
Your oldest student is
my oldest student. In one day, I had a 97. I believe she's 97 or 98 years old, and earlier that day, I had a 4.5-year-old. Yeah.
So you have
So I have a wide range, and the only difference is my 4.5-year-old believes she can do whatever she puts her mind to. And the older the clients get, it's more of this like self-doubt of like, can I do it? I
haven't tried that.
And so I tell people all the time, like, just come in, try something new. If you like your picture, bonus.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, gift it to somebody.
There you go. Well, this summer my girlfriend, she does beautiful watercolors, and I wanted to try one, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get a 5x7, and I thought, no, that's too much real estate. So I started with the postcard
Little
size,
tiny guy,
4x6, and you know what? It was therapeutic for me. It might not be spectacular hanging in a museum somewhere, but it was therapeutic for me.
And I was telling someone too, I was talking to them, and I'm so grateful for this space and people that spend their hard-earned money to come to an art class. Like, I get it, things are expensive right now. But I was telling this lady, I'm just so thankful for my clients. And she's like, well, you need to understand that when I get ready to come to art class, I'm excited because it's 2.5 hours where I can unplug from social media. I can unplug from work. I can unplug from all these things and just be creative.
Just be, yeah.
And she's like, so don't downplay. I was like, oh, I'm not downplaying it, but I am very grateful. We have an amazing community in Walla Walla, and my business, like in the last 2 years, has outdone anything I made in the previous years because our community is like so strong and supportive.
Yeah.
And so I've been very grateful for that.
And not only do you have the studio, but your art is showing up on walls around town.
Yeah, I love working big.
Yes,
Yeah.
and on menu boards. And why don't you speak a little bit about that?
So I started, my very first mural was actually Blue Palm at Frozen Yogurt. I was, I believe, 16 or 17 when I did that one. And then when I moved here, Hot Mama's Espresso by the freeway, the original one, she asked me to do a 9/11 portrait over there, and I started out with one, and then a client came in and she's like, why didn't they paint the whole wall? I'm like, give me a month. I need to recover from this 40-hour.
I'm exhausted. I've been on a ladder.
Yeah, it was a long summer. But that mural ended up being 130 hours of work. And so I have had a few different companies and schools. I redesigned the logo out at Tushi for their school and painted all the murals on that building.
And then a church downtown.
And then a church downtown, and right down from there, Misbehavin'. And I have 5 murals for next summer. The weather is starting to turn, and so I can only do so much. The paint has to dry.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to be out there with your hair dryer.
No, it's not going to work out. And so I'm doing some more murals in town next year as well. And so now I can focus more on my clientele here and my teaching and all that good stuff.
So Chloe, you give everybody an example of what the class project will be that night.
Yep.
And you have the example, which you
Yes.
have to share with us. But what if someone's looking at this and they're
They're
not
like, it's
sure?
too much.
It's too much. I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, so I tell people all the time, when you start creating a picture, there's this expectation of like, this is what it looks like, this is how I want it to look, and if it doesn't look like this, I might as well not even try.
I'm in tears.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, I created this, and I can't even recreate this perfectly a second time. And honestly, it's not as fun to do it the second time, this exact same way.
Because you don't remember when you were doing this section and that section.
And so I like to tell people, just be kind to yourself and just make it your own. Like if you like a color a little bit different, add that color. If your pumpkin ends up being a little bit bigger, nobody's gonna come to your house and say, hey, I feel like this pumpkin should be a little bit bigger. And if they do, those people shouldn't be in your house. So I tell them all the time, like, just be kind to yourself, and it's okay if it doesn't end up like this. Because it would be boring if we all had the same exact picture.
Exactly, and this, it's so soft.
It is so soft. This is wool, and so you just poke it right into this felt piece.
Oh,
and
it's
we're
actually felt in the back.
It's felt on the back.
So I need to come take a class.
Yeah, no,
from you,
it's
Chloe.
fun. It's definitely one of the fun projects that I do there.
Oh, see, that is fun.
Yeah.
As we sit here, we've talked about this, how you are sharing your art, how you are bringing people into this space.
Yeah.
What would you like to say in our final comments here?
Well, there's so many things, but something that I am really excited about is, I was talking to my husband about my tagline, which is creating community through creativity. And that is really special to me because I want, there's people in the community that have just moved here, or they don't know where they should go to find other people that have the same interests as them. And so it is really nice to be able to get the community into this space. And last night when we had all those people from different walks of life, different skill levels, they all came together and it was such a positive energy. And I saw a few people that were sitting next to strangers that were talking the entire time. And so I love that art brings people together and it gives everyone a chance to be on the same playing field. And they all came here to try something new and create something beautiful. And it was just really fun to see, and so I'm excited that I get to bring that to the community, and I'm excited that the community has welcomed me with open arms, and so I'm just excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited about being on College Avenue.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for bringing so much beautiful color and art
Thank
to
you.
our hometown. Thank you,
Thanks.
Chloe.
Thank you.
Cory, it's just great to be here to talk with you about these incredible plants or incredible pieces of artwork that we see here. When did you get into bonsai?
I kind of got into it, I'd say like late 2020, kind of picked it up as a COVID hobby, I guess.
We all needed some of those.
Yes. So, I mean, beforehand I'd been interested in trees and gardening and planting and whatnot for quite a while, but
And you have an artistic background too.
yeah, I studied graphic design at Wallowa University, and have drawn since I was young, and now I do custom picture framing, so yeah, a lot
So
of
combining the plants and working with plants that you love and the artistic side, that's perfect.
Yep.
With bonsai.
Yep.
So we can see a couple of examples here, but describe to us, if you had to sort of give the dictionary, what is a bonsai? What is it?
Well, the word bonsai is a Japanese word that means plant in a pot. So
Okay.
a tree in a pot, technically, would be a bonsai. But like the connotations of that are like something that's been styled to either reflect an idealized vision of a tree or nature in a smaller form. So these two examples are kind of on their way to that. This one's not quite yet in a pot. It's just sitting in this one.
I like that. And it's like in whatever it's in, it's kind of coming out sideways.
Yeah, so when I got this from the nursery, I decided that as I styled it, it was not at the correct angle to show off the tree the best. So tipped it up on its side, and that becomes the new angle. But it's not quite time to replant it yet in this
Yes.
pot. So
Okay. And do you have to be really careful about that timing for
yeah,
replanting?
repotting generally for most plants is best to do in the spring before that big push of growth. It's at that point loaded up with lots of energy and ready for spring. So doing stuff to the roots to fit it into a smaller pot doesn't hurt it as much.
What kinds of trees are these? Is this juniper?
These are both junipers.
I
Yes.
hope it's okay I'm touching it
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm touching it right
it's
now.
fine. That'll be great. Yeah, so these are both junipers, a popular tree for bonsai, especially wild ones collected from Japan, but these are just from a nursery.
Sure. But it's not exclusive to juniper.
No, not at all.
I mean, in fact, it's probably surprising how many different types of trees can.
Basically, if it can grow woody bark, fiber, whatever,
Yes.
it'll work for bonsai. So shrubs, trees, just not things like flowers and annual plants. So
Okay. What about-
junipers, pines, elms, maples.
So
Yeah.
does it matter how big the leaves are in a
Yeah.
sense?
So that is an important thing if you want to kind of reflect a tree in a much smaller scale. Certain varieties of juniper do this better than others, and then certain types of deciduous trees, maples and stuff, do that better. The cool thing is, as they're growing in these small pots, and as those roots get denser and denser, the leaves actually reduce in size on their own. So
Okay.
you can compare a Japanese maple that you've got in your garden, and it might grow
And I do.
leaves
I have
that
two
are
of them.
this big.
Yes.
But you put it in a pot, you do the correct care to it, and it might grow leaves that are that big. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right. So it's all part of the process.
all part of the process.
Now, when you first see the plant, does something come into your mind like, it could be this shape or it would be that way? Is that design already partially there or?
No, not really. When I find a plant, I try to look for something that has some sort of interesting feature to it or cool twist in the trunk
This
or
one
whatever.
certainly does.
Yeah, so this one had a decent amount of twist to it up to about this point, and then I
Okay.
added some more with my wire. But yeah, I look for something that's got an interesting flow to it, and that's like the most amount of like pre-vision that I do. It's when I take it to a turntable to start working on it, cutting branches off, moving the branches, that I kind of decide what the shape of that's going to be.
Okay, let's
So-
talk about that a little bit more because
Yeah.
you've just mentioned wire and you've mentioned trimming. So are
Yeah.
those the primary ways that you shape the
So
plant?
Yeah, wiring or trimming are the two main ways. Before 1910, everything was done just clip and grow, which means you clip something and hope the branch grows where you want it to. After that, they started adding wire to stuff to shape and move and twist and form things into different ways. So this one has two different kinds of wire on it. There's some copper wire and some aluminum wire. The copper wire is a little bit stouter and holds things better, and the aluminum wire is a little bit softer.
So how many bonsai do you have going right now?
I have 36-ish trees that are developing. I have a lot that I would say are pre-bonsai, like they're on their way.
You have plans
these two
for them.
Yeah.
So how does somebody get into this? You said 2020, right? You decide you need this hobby.
Yeah.
It's kind of everybody's staying indoors time. And you did what to figure out how to do it?
I don't exactly remember how I got into it. I started watching a couple of channels on YouTube. There's a guy in England named Peter Chan, small little Chinese guy that's lived in England for a long time, and he recorded videos around his nursery and just showed the stuff that he did. And he just had this like bonsai is for everybody kind of mentality.
And you believed him.
I believed him, yeah. And so I started it. So yeah, people find it by randomly coming across something on YouTube. Maybe a friend of yours does it and tells you about it. There's
And
also
you've got a
like
book
expositions.
here,
Yeah, so this is the show book from the 2022 Pacific Bonsai Expo. So this is full of the roughly 70 trees that were at the expo.
Pictures of them?
Yeah,
in
pictures.
here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now that's cool.
So
Okay, these are amazing.
yeah. So yeah, feel
Where
free
was
to
this
flip.
held?
This was in Oakland, California, at a space called the Bridge Yards.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So really cool space, a lot of really nice bright light that came in, and those trees, and then a small section for vendors to sell stuff.
So if people wanted to see examples of bonsai plants, is there a place regionally where you can go look at them?
Yeah, over in Federal Way near Seattle,
Yeah.
there is one of two public collections that are in the United States. That's called the Pacific Bonsai Museum. So they have roughly 50 trees on display at any point there. So a lot of cool stuff there.
So we just happen to be in the right place because Federal Way is not that far away from
It's
us,
not that far
especially if
away.
there's only two places in
Yeah,
the whole country.
the other one's in Washington, D.C., a little further away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So not everybody has this privilege of
no,
being able to do that.
yeah. And I actually go up there once a month and volunteer doing care on much bigger, cooler, more expensive bonsai than I have, which has been a really fun
That's a good
opportunity.
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Get to learn a lot from the curator there and other gardeners and bonsai tenders there.
Really cool.
Yeah.
It seems like this would take a lot of patience.
It
And
does take
also
some
sort of
patience.
stick to it in this perseverance.
Yeah, yeah. It does take some patience. Like I mentioned with the potting, that's not something I can do yet and expect this tree to react well. So I have to be patient and wait for spring to do that, to put this into the small pot and make it look more like a bonsai.
Yes.
This really needs to be kind of styled up, but again, that's best to do early spring or late spring, early summer. So I have to wait on that as well.
So timing has a lot
Yeah,
to do
timing,
with this.
timing has a lot to do with it. It is art, but it's also horticulture. So
Yeah, they're
it's important
alive.
to keep it alive, keep it healthy, keep it growing if you want it to continue to be art.
Do you have to have special soil?
I do have some special soil, and it is unfortunately expensive. So
Of course.
yeah, but the components of that soil are really helpful for your water to drain through really well and not sit in the pot too long. And there's one element of that soil that actually really helps your roots get really small and fine and take up nutrients better.
Now that's interesting.
yeah.
Because the roots would also need to be different, just the way the leaves become different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so an ordinary tree probably has a really long taproot that goes deep, deep into the ground
Sure.
for water. that can't work with this.
No.
So one of the first things when repotting is to cut that off and get it into this shallower pot. And then you want to foster those smaller, finer roots that are actually where your feeding and your water and your nutrient uptake happens.
And you're watering it regularly. It doesn't have to have a long taproot that goes away.
Exactly, yeah. It can't withstand long times of drought by going deep into the earth for water. So I have to water. In the summer, some of these trees get watered 2 or 3 times a day, and then they get watered periodically through the winter as they even need water. So.
Yeah, this is part of that perseverance I'm talking about.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a day, it's like having a baby or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Feed it, water it.
So, I can set up like automatic watering systems to kind of help out, or if I've got a friend or somebody that's passing through, hey, can you give the plants a quick water?
Give them some water
Yeah.
real quick. So this is pretty rewarding.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And you're going to keep at it, it sounds like, with
Yes.
36
Yeah.
plants in process.
Yep, and I'm sure there'll be more eventually. I hope to continue to work into bigger and more valuable, I guess, trees as I learn more.
Yeah, well, there's probably some people watching who would love to get started at this. So YouTube's, books.
Yep, YouTube, books. There's lots of forums and stuff online. I actually attend weekly a online learning platform called Mirai Live that has a live broadcast and then a lot of archive videos. So I've learned a lot from those on how to keep them happy and healthy.
Yes, very good. Well, Cory, awesome. Thanks. I've just enjoyed chatting with you
Thank you.
about this.
It's been great.
Isaiah 64:8 says, "We are the clay, you are the potter, and we are all the work of your hand." God is the only perfect in the universe, and He made you. He gave you the capacity to create and learn. Sometimes our own pride and fear holds us back. I often get frustrated with my lack of perfection and tired of the constant struggle. None of us wants to sing a horrible note or miss a beat. We don't want to be the heaviest girl on the treadmill or the skinny guy lifting weights. We're embarrassed to show the pot with the imperfect glaze, the painting with the slightly off-kilter perspective, or the somewhat askew garden bench. And yet, there is that moment when all the practice is done, and despite the imperfections, there is something so real, so lovable, that you can't help but say, "Look at this." Making perfect isn't the goal. The making process, the journey to finish, is where the beauty lies. Let's get out there and try something new, even if it's not perfect. As Vince Lombardi said, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we might catch excellence. See you next week on another episode of Hometown.